And they forget that it's a business and not a job. They forget that they need to become a business owner and not an employee. Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Michael Shue, your second favorite Turo host. And while this is on my mind, I just wanted to get this out here. This is an absolute requirement to run a Turo business. And really, just about any business once you get past the what you're good at phase. And so let me really explain this a little bit better. So some people are just really good at, let's say, painting. And so they like, okay, I got to get in business for painting. And they're like, okay, I got all the tools. I can do a room really quickly. I can do good, crisp corners. I have all the floor mats that I can put down, necessary equipment, rollers, brushes, whatever it needs for a house or a room. And then they get in there, they're killing it, right? You're the top of the game and you're doing your best. You got 2 or 3 clients and you're working and you're doing it for a little bitty bit, and then you start fading off. And here's where most entrepreneurs fade off. They're hot right off because they're like, I'm the best in the game. I've got a lot of referrals. They get into it and they forget that it's a business and not a job. They forget that they need to become a business owner and not an employee. So this is a requirement of Turo, is that if you do decide to scale and make it less of a hobby, 1 or 2 cars, and you start to scale and you get 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cars, that you have to remove yourself from being an employee and being the one that's doing all the cleaning and being the one sending all the messages. And you'll see this is probably where most people just either quit or give up. They don't think it's worth it anymore because they're running themselves into the ground, right? Because being an owner, worker, accountant, sales, finance, marketing, it becomes incredibly exhausting. And if you ever listen to any entrepreneur, they talk about this thing called systems. You gotta put a system in place. You have to at least have come from a place where you've been in management, where you've had to find a way to create a system for somebody else, for the job, for yourself, whatever that looks like. And I think that's where most people will fall off. They will fail. They'll say, hey, it just doesn't work. I'm over here doing all the cars, I'm doing the pickups, and the Turo client didn't bring it back in time. What do I do? I am looking for partners. So if you are somebody that does not have a system, but you have a car, you want to test out making money with your vehicle, and you are in the St. Louis area, I would love to have a talk with you to see what it would be like for you to make some money with your vehicle. See what it would be like to actually, maybe even take it out on a weekend, maybe to rent it out for that time frame. Maybe you're trying to get that car payment down, or you're in a tough place. A lot of people get there. It's an unfortunate spot, but sometimes it's best to take action instead of losing that vehicle, instead of losing everything and going into bankruptcy and messing up your credit. Why not take a shot on making some money with your car? And if I can help you in that way, please send me a DM, send me a message, leave a comment, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. All right, guys, you have a great day, and catch you next time. They left it nasty and dirty or whatever it may be. They smoked in the car, and now Turo isn't giving me my money. It's obviously they smoked in the car. I cleaned it. I showed the pictures. Sometimes it's just not enough. Sometimes you have to have a system in place that guarantees that these things get completed. And that is the biggest thing that most people will fail at. And I've seen this as I have been growing my Turo fleet, as I've been going through hundreds of clients now. You know, I've accepted roughly, I think, 140 something trips, and completed, I believe, 105, you know, because, you know, people cancel here and there, or I have to cancel them because they have not followed the procedures that I put in place. And you ask yourself, well, how would I know to do it? Well, sometimes you don't, but people like myself or other entrepreneurs or other people that have worked in corporate for a while, they begin to start picking up on these little things that you have to do every day to be prepared. It maybe, if not exactly ready for that exact same scenario, but prepared for something to happen, for something to go wrong, for you know, what happens in these cases where you're not exactly ready, but you have some sort of understanding of what to do when crap hits the fan, when your car gets into a wreck. How do you respond? Do you panic? Does it cause you anxiety? Because anxiety in general does you no good, especially in the business world. You have to be able to make decisions. You have to take it, go with it immediately, because if the only thing you have is anxiety, worry, you're causing yourself to overthink, which leads to not doing anything at all, which typically will cause your business to fail. You have to always make decisions. You always have to have some sort of system in place that you know what you're gonna do, even if it's a weird off case scenario. You have to be at least ready to make a decision. So, if there's anything you can take from this, is that whenever you are going into business, you need to be able to sit down, be ready, and make a plan. For Turo, if you wanted 3 nice tips for creating a system, for Turo, you need to have a cleaning process. You need to write it down. And or, if you're just doing it for yourself, you need to be doing the same exact routine, vacuuming, airing it out. If they smoked in the car, you got to have an ozone machine ready. If you got to have a car wash in place. How do I go through it? What times is it open? What time am I going to take it in? What time does it need to be cleaned by? How many hours ahead of another client? Do you do it immediately after it gets brought back? There's a lot of questions right there, right? So you got to do it for yourself, however your business would run best. The next tip, outside of the cleaning, is going to be having a system in place for your clients. What automation do they need, or what funnel do they need to go through to be able to pick up your car? Do they need to send you a text message saying that they're there? Do they need to grab a key? Is a lockbox out there? Is it a Turo Go host where they're going to be doing everything from their phone? There is a lot of questions. So if you have newer cars, you're on Turo Go, you need to tell your client how to use Turo Go. Yeah, I know, it's on the app. Please believe the app explains it exactly what to do. They get notifications. I guarantee you, they will call you, tell you that they're there. They'll call Turo support. They're at the car. They don't know what to do. They don't know where to find the key. The app literally lays it out for them. But me, after all this experience with it, I know I have to have messages in place. And I say it 3 times. Automated, by the way. I am not typing all this out every single time. Got to have some automation in place for your clients. What do they do? They're at the car. What do they do to get the car? What do they do to get in the car? How do they drop the car off? You would be absolutely shocked how simple it is, yet a lot of people they have a hard time following rules. They have a hard time following directions. So if you just say it at least 2 or 3 times, typically most of your good clients will get it. You're gonna have your one-offs, of course, but that's when, again, having that mindset system in place for your own self as a business owner, what do? Do you, hey, maybe sometimes you just got to walk out to your client. Sometimes you do got to meet them in person. And that's it. Simple as that. And maybe a third is having a business in place in general. So Turo, you can do Turo with just your own social security number, but why not? Why would you run a business without having an actual business in place? Why not go to your local Secretary of State website, go and buy an LLC. Missouri, I believe it's $50. Illinois, I believe it's like $150. Depending on your state, it's whatever. Or just use a online LLC creation, like I think it's Inkfile or Rocketfile or whatever they may be. Go to one of those websites, create your LLC, get your EIN number from the federal government. Those are free. That's easy. Then go get a business banking account, and run everything, all of your money through that business checking account. Because what that does is separates your money from the business money, and then you don't forget sometimes. Like, there's a lot of times you just like, oh man, I was supposed to pay that bill. Well, I spent the money thinking it was my money from my personal income as a teacher or as an engineer or whatever you do. So the best thing to do is have that separated, having a system in place for your own business money, your finances. Guys, there's a lot of gold here, and I hope that somebody's picking it up. And if you are here, it's 11 minutes deep. If you're here, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe if this is helping you out in any way, if this content is giving you any gems, any nuggets of wisdom. I would love to hear about it, love to know about it, and you can do this by sharing it with other people that are looking at getting into the Turo space.